The year is 2017. Barack Obama has just completed his second term as President of the United States. However, in this alternate timeline, the 22nd Amendment doesn't exist. Obama is not term limited. He throws his hat in the ring for a historic third term. Imagine a world where the Obama presidency continued beyond 2017. This essay explores that possibility, delving into key areas like job growth, infrastructure, the stock market, and social policies. We'll examine how an extended Obama presidency might have shaped the American landscape. The 2016 election was highly contentious. The nation was divided, but Obama, despite facing a Republican-controlled Congress for 6 of his 8 years, maintained relatively high approval ratings. His calm demeanor and commitment to reasoned discourse resonated with a significant portion of the electorate. Imagine that resonance translating into a third-term victory. Perhaps a third-party candidate siphoned off enough votes to give Obama a narrow path to victory. Or perhaps, disillusioned by the alternatives, enough voters in key states swung back to the familiar, steady hand of Barack Obama. Whatever the reason, picture Obama once again taking the oath of office. A wave of hope, particularly among Democrats and independents, washes over the nation. The sense of continuity of unfinished business sets the stage for an unprecedented third term. This is the starting point for our exploration. What follows is a speculative yet grounded look at what might have been. We'll examine the potential trajectory of the United States under 4 more years of Barack Obama. This is not a prediction, nor is it a wish list. It's a thought experiment, an attempt to understand the potential ripple effects of a single, significant change in the course of history. Job creation was a cornerstone of Obama's first 2 terms. The economy, ravaged by the Great Recession when he took office, had slowly but steadily recovered. Unemployment had fallen from a high of 10% in 2009 to under 5% by 2016. Now, imagine that trend continuing into a third term. Obama, always focused on the future, would likely have prioritized job growth in sectors poised for expansion: technology, clean energy, healthcare, and education. He would have continued to advocate for policies that fostered innovation and entrepreneurship. Central to Obama's economic vision was a belief in empowering workers. He understood that a strong middle class was the backbone of a thriving economy. During his first 2 terms, he championed raising the minimum wage, albeit unsuccessfully due to congressional opposition. In this alternate timeline, with a fresh mandate and potentially a more favorable Congress, a minimum wage hike to $10.10 or even higher might have been achievable. Beyond wages, Obama would have continued to push for policies that provided workers with greater security and flexibility, paid family leave, expanded overtime rules, and protections for gig economy workers. He recognized that the nature of work was changing and sought to ensure that American workers were equipped to adapt and thrive. Retraining programs for workers displaced by automation and globalization would have been another priority. Obama understood that technological advancements, while ultimately beneficial, could lead to short-term job losses. Investing in community colleges, apprenticeships, and public-private partnerships would have been key to providing these workers with the skills they needed to transition to new industries and opportunities. Infrastructure was another area where Obama consistently advocated for greater investment. He understood that a modern, efficient infrastructure was essential for economic competitiveness and quality of life. During his first 2 terms, he signed into law the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, which included significant funding for infrastructure projects. However, he often faced resistance from a Republican-controlled Congress, reluctant to spend on what they considered big government initiatives. Now, envision a third term where Obama, bolstered by a stronger mandate, is able to push through a major infrastructure bill. This bill, exceeding $300 billion in investment, would address a wide range of needs. Roads and bridges, long neglected, would be repaired and modernized. Public transit systems would receive much-needed upgrades, expanding access and reducing congestion. But Obama's vision for infrastructure went beyond simply fixing what was broken. He recognized the transformative potential of new technologies. His infrastructure bill would include substantial funding for high-speed rail, connecting cities and fostering economic growth. Moreover, Obama's focus on clean energy would have been evident in his infrastructure plans. The bill would allocate significant resources for expanding broadband internet access in underserved communities, investing in smart grids that improve energy efficiency, and supporting the rollout of 5G wireless technology. These investments would have positioned the United States at the forefront of the digital revolution. And of course, no Obama infrastructure plan would be complete without a major commitment to clean energy. The bill would include funding for wind and solar power projects, electric vehicle charging stations, and the electrification of public transportation. These investments would create jobs, reduce carbon emissions, and enhance America's energy independence. Section 4. Steady as she goes, the stock market under continued Obama leadership. The stock market, often seen as a barometer of economic confidence, generally performed well during Obama's presidency. After initially plummeting in the wake of the financial crisis, the market rebounded strongly, reaching record highs by the end of his second term. Now, imagine how the market might have reacted to an Obama third term. It's likely that the stock market would have continued its upward trajectory, albeit at a more moderate and sustainable pace. Investors tend to favor predictability and stability, and an Obama third term would have provided both. His policies, focused on long-term growth and fiscal responsibility, would have been seen as reassuring by the business community. Tech companies in particular would likely have continued to thrive under an Obama administration. His support for research and development, coupled with his commitment to expanding access to education and high-skilled immigration, would have fostered a climate of innovation. However, Obama was also a pragmatist. While supportive of the tech sector, he recognized the need for regulation to prevent excesses and protect consumers. It's likely that he would have maintained the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, enacted in response to the financial crisis. This law, which strengthened financial regulations and created the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, was designed to prevent another meltdown. In short, under an Obama third term, the stock market would likely have experienced steady, albeit perhaps less spectacular growth. This stability, coupled with continued innovation in the tech sector, would have contributed to a sense of economic security and optimism. Section 5. Food on the table, ensuring affordability and sustainability. Food security and affordability are paramount concerns for any president. During Obama's tenure, food prices remained relatively stable. The agricultural sector, bolstered by subsidies and a robust system of support, continued to produce an abundance of food. Now imagine how these trends might have evolved during an Obama third term. Obama, always attuned to the needs of ordinary Americans, would have prioritized keeping food prices in check. He understood that rising food costs disproportionately impact low-income families. Continuing the Farm Bill subsidies, a cornerstone of American agricultural policy, would have been a priority. These subsidies helped stabilize farm incomes, ensuring a steady supply of food at affordable prices. But Obama's approach to agriculture extended beyond traditional subsidies. He recognized the growing threat of climate change and its potential impact on food production. He would have continued to promote climate-smart agricultural practices such as drought-resistant crops and precision irrigation to mitigate the effects of extreme weather. Furthermore, Obama's commitment to expanding access to healthy, affordable food would have continued. He would have likely strengthened programs like SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and WIC, the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infants, and children, which provide food assistance to low-income families. Additionally, he might have supported initiatives to combat food deserts in urban areas, promoting community gardens and farmers markets to improve access to fresh produce. In essence, an Obama third term would have likely seen a continuation of stable food prices, supported by a combination of traditional agricultural policies and forward-thinking initiatives aimed at promoting sustainability and accessibility.